Hello, Taylor Ellwood with Magical Experiments, and today we're going to talk a little bit about environment and the importance of it when it comes to magic. Now, when I use the word environment, let me take a moment to really define that. Certainly, the word environment can refer to nature and the world around us, but it can also refer to a room that you're in. It can refer to the psychological and spiritual values attached to a space. It can refer to what is occurring within a space. Um, so why this focus on environment? Well, I've been reading this book called Scarcity, and it's really gotten me to think about how so much of what makes a person successful or unsuccessful is how their environment is set up to support or not support them in what they're trying to do. In a scarcity environment, for example, you're going to have certain variables that are in place that encourage scarcity and set a person's behaviors and habits up around scarcity. And the same is true in a situation where a person doesn't have a scarcity mentality, where they have an abundance mentality. Their environment is going to be set up for that. So I think that it's really useful to explore this concept of environment in our magical work and ask ourselves, how are we proactively designing our environment in order to support our magical work? And really, I see environment and identity going hand in hand. If you've read my book, Magical Identity, you know that I talk about identity quite a bit and how identity is central to magic, that identity is your contractual agreement with the universe for you to be who you are. I think that environment also plays a role in the formation of identity in the sense that the environment that you're in and the environmental variables that you're working with also set you up for the experiences that you have. And they play a significant enough role that if you have the right environmental variables in place, your life is a lot easier to live than if you have the wrong environmental variables in place. Now you could say, well, how much control do I really have over these environmental variables? And I would argue that you have some control over them, and to some degree you don't. Um, it's figuring out which ones you have control over. So, for example, we use this as an example of environment. Your friends are environmental variables that you have control over, and to the extent that you choose to be friends with those people. So if you're friends with somebody who's always negative or always, in a place where they're kind of constantly seeing doom and gloom in everything that they do, that's going to have an effect on your outlook. It's going to have an effect on how you approach the world. That's an environmental variable that you can change. You can choose whether or not you really want to continue to be friends with that person. We're going to explore this topic at more length in subsequent videos, but for right now, what I would have you do is really just consider your own environment. Define what your environment is. What is your environment? What's in that environment that you can change? What's in that environment that you don't feel you can change? Why or why not? And how does that environment contribute to your sense of identity, to how you navigate and experience the world? We'll explore this topic in more length on the next video, but for now I'm going to leave you with those thoughts. If you have any comments, please feel free to leave them below, and if you found this video helpful, please subscribe. Thanks very much.